Hi, I'm Camilla.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And welcome to You're Gonna Be Fine, the podcast that reminds you that no matter where you are in your journey, you're exactly where you need to be.
In each episode, we'll explore tools, tips, theories, and stories that will help you learn, heal, and grow, and remind you that even on the tough days, you'll be fine.
Whether you're navigating life's big changes, trying to build healthier habits, or just looking for a little inspiration, this show is here to remind you that you've got everything you need within you.
So wherever you are, take a deep breath, relax, and remember, you're going to be fine.
Just a quick heads up that we're not certified therapists or doctors, just regular gals sharing insights and tips from our own personal experience.
So if you're dealing with something serious, please speak to a professional because at the end of the day, they are the experts, not us. So with that being said, enjoy the epised. Good morning.
Hello, darling. How the
How are
hell
you?
are you?
I'm
Yeah, I'm
really well,
fabulous.
thanks. How are
Thank you.
you?
Oh, God. That was chaotic. Do we do that again? Or do we just roll with it? We'll roll with it.
Yeah, we'll roll with it.
Oh, yeah, we're literally just two very chatty girls, aren't we? Neither of us can get a word in edgeways.
Don't you feel like when you commit to the voice note, you've just got to commit to the voice note?
No,
So,
I
do
really
you?
do. I laugh again. You know, like when I book it up and then I'm laughing at something you've said, I'm like, and I do it again. And I think if anyone was to witness me doing this, the first time I was genuinely laughing, and then now
I'm winning a BAFTA.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'm up
yes,
for
yes.
an Oscar award.
Fantastic. Yeah. You can't not laugh at your own jokes, to be fair.
No, especially not when
They're so
you're-
hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. Back ourselves. Let's do the oh fuck moment of the week.
Yeah.
I've literally got it in my head now whenever we start talking, just to talk about it because of that one episode where we forgot
Trauma.
the oh fuck of
Yeah.
the week. So I think it's my favourite part. I just think it's so good because, like we always say, Instagram paints this very polished image of people online, and it's absolutely not the case. And that's what kind of like makes us feel a little bit like insecure sometimes and like compare.
Just a bit of realism, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
just-
A bit of a reality check. Like it's similarly with if you have gone back and watched all the other episodes, like very few things in life are guaranteed, but me spilling down my jumper is one of them. So yeah, I had a lovely cream hoodie on the first one, literally stains all over it. You met me, didn't you?
Yeah,
And
you had like black oil. I was like, what have you been doing? Like rolling around in the grease and mud? Like what? But I'd had that, and James got me basically I have a coat that is just, you know, like one of those sleeping bag coats. And you just, it's hideous to look at. It's just black, it's long.
like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, but it's amazing for like your early morning walk. Like I go for my early morning walk, I don't even put a bra on. I just get out the door because I just literally
never
still
wear a bra.
pajamas, wellies. I put my wellies on, pajamas, no bra. And then I just get out the door and put my coat on. But James said to me, I hate that coat. I was like, whoa, okay, tell me how you really feel. And he was like, it's the depression coat. And I was like, oh, and he was like, yeah, your mood just lowers when you put it on. And I was like, really? I think it's 'cause
Is
it's
this
like
the black one?
Yeah, it's black. Oh, do you agree?
Yeah. No, like this is literally it's the coat that is the trauma coat.
Yes,
I feel.
well, I did buy it when I was not feeling great. So maybe
Yeah.
it's got some negative energy in it. Anyway, that's what James says, negative energy. So for Christmas, he was like, I'm going to get you a nice white,
Stupid.
short, nice coat. So got a Tala one. Gorgeous. It's gorgeous, to be fair. And the quality is 10 out of 10. And obviously the first two wears, you're like,
Stun.
And now, oh my God, I look
Yeah.
like it's orange for a
It's
start.
grubby.
It's grubby, and it's
That's
got
the
that
word.
weird, mysterious black oil on the
Everywhere.
sleeve. And I'm like, what? But like we said, it must be from the car, you know, when
Yeah.
you're getting in and out. But Tala, no, shout out, very, very good quality. And you know what I love about it as well? You can take the arms off of it. So it's
I
a
saw
Gino thing as well.
Grace
so you can have
Beverly.
like oh, did you?
Yeah, talking
Promoting
about that.
about it. Yeah, it's mega.
Really clever, actually.
Anyway, go on. So what's your fuck up of
Fuck
the week,
up
except for dribbling on yourself,
of the
maybe?
week. Yeah, I think that's just like human nature, isn't it? So we're all just dribblers, especially me. My fuck up of the week has to be. Oh, I actually feel so bad relaying this story. Basically, allow me to set the scene. So, long story short, proceeds to tell long story, usually, not in this case. So I've had a very, very busy January. Like, I just think every single thing that I've had going on is quite a big thing. Like this podcast, like helping James launch his podcast, my masterclass, training from Kilimanjaro, training for my first ever High Rocks. Yeah. So it's all been a lot. So normally I am a very organized queen. However, I've really let like the diary slip because I'm old school. I love like pen to paper diaries. Anyway, I'd forgotten to put therapy into my diary, and God, my therapist, Tony, I've been going to him for 3 years, and I left Tony hanging in his little garden therapy sadness shed. So he has like a little shed at the bottom of his garden. It sounds a bit sinister.
I was going to say, is it? I don't know. Shed. You should be saying shed.
It's
a
little house.
Makes it sound like he's
a bit
a serial
weird.
killer or something.
Yeah, he is not. Disclaimer: he's the most gorgeous man. I wish to marry him one day. No, he'll be at my wedding. 100%.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he would have helped you get there.
Yeah,
with all the therapy. 100%. You know,
I was actually considering inviting him to my 30th.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thoughts?
I mean,
questions, concerns?
Thoughts as a coach. If one of my clients asked me to go to their birthday, you'd kind of be blurring the professional line.
Yeah. But and Tony,
maybe you can after 3 years. I've never coached anyone for 3 years. So maybe you could.
Me and Tony, like, it runs deeper. Like not like that. So it runs deeper. We're madly in love. We're absolutely not. I don't know why it runs. It's just like, you know, they say like, oh, like sex is great, but have you ever made your therapist belly laugh? Yeah. And like, there is no feeling like it.
Therapist approval is next level.
Oh my God.
Or when they're really proud of the way you handled a situation. I'm like, I've grown.
No, this is going to top it though. Like, so the other day I said a quote to him and he said, can you repeat that? I want to write it down.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I've made it
next
now.
level.
Like,
you don't need therapy. You've completed therapy.
I know. I actually do feel, though, when you feel like you don't need it, it's when you need to carry on, though. Yeah. But anyway, my oh fuck was that I left Tony, my gorgeous therapist, hanging. And he just sent me a message. He was like, Camilla, are you running late or have you got prior engagements?
Have you ghosted me?
Yeah. And I was just like,
engagements as
God,
well.
that's so cute. Yeah, he's so cute, literally. And then I actually didn't feel as bad because I had messaged him a few weeks previously. Bear in mind, Tony and I, we have been in a committed therapist relationship for 3 years. He replies to my text and says, so I'm like, we're organising this therapy session, which I then forgot about. However, he then replies and says, absolutely, Kelly, I've booked you in. I was like, 3 years. 3 years we've been together.
He's going to think that the reason why you were like, not turning up is because you were giving him one back for calling you the wrong name.
The audacity is
that's horrendous. That's worse than your ex calling you
100%.
Sorry, your boyfriend calling you their ex's name.
100%. I don't care about that.
Yeah, like, but you do care about this. I can
tell. Worst thing is that Kelly is someone I've referred to Tony. So I came first. Kelly is a client of mine that now, like, you know what I mean? I'm getting really...
Yeah, I can see the passion.
But that's not... The fuck was on me because I was like chaotic Camilla, and I left Tony hanging. I sent him the money for the session because I just thought, you know what, it's your time, it's precious.
It is,
but I just really did like kick myself, and I just thought, and what I did, like, my solution with that was I sent him the money, booked in the next session, and like just made sure that I wrote it in pen in the diary so I couldn't forget. And it just goes to show, like, you're human. Your diary gets a bit chocker. Like,
once in 3 years, come on, give yourself a break.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's fine. So people make mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. And as I might give a +1 to him for my wedding. Like,
lovely.
On my 30th, he can bring Helen, his wife. So that's
so kind.
Like,
so you like Helen then?
I've not actually met Helen.
Okay.
But he uses her in like context and conversation all the time, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So what was your oh fuck / fuck up / oh fuck off? What is it?
Fuck's sake.
Oh fuck's sake.
Well, actually, do you know what? I had a different one in my mind. But
that's the Tourette's where I'm like, fuck off, Katie. I'm saying what I actually think.
I had a different oh fuck of the week, but your one has just actually inspired probably a more themed one, and actually one that I did feel terrible about. Also to do with my therapist, Philippa.
Great.
Which I've not told you this, I don't think.
Is everyone's therapist not called Philippa? I'm sure my friend has a therapist and she's called Philippa.
Me.
No,
it's
you're
me.
not the friend. No, this person I'm talking about is my best friend.
Sorry. The acrylics are out.
Yeah, you have to go back and watch episode 1 for the context of that.
I'll literally never live that down.
No.
But you know I love you. Anyway. Right. So my therapist, and I said therapist because I mixed Philippa and therapist.
My therapist.
My Philippa. Hell. Get it out, love. Right. My therapist is called Philippa.
Yeah.
And she's so lovely. And she's like 80. Oh, I don't want to disrespect.
She's 80.
I don't want to disrespect her, but she's an older lady. I don't want to call the age.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, she might be like 65.
Okay.
Anyway, Anyway, very interestingly, she was in a cult. Sorry, shifting gear here. But anyway, that was just a side note. So basically, she has been my therapist for 2 years. And I just feel like I'm at a point in my relationship with Philippa where I feel like for now, I just want to take a little break. And I do think I've had it quite consistently for 2 years and I've grown so much and come so far with therapy and I love it. But I just would like to go fly solo for a little while.
So you're having a breakup with your therapist.
This is my oh fuck of the week. I dumped my therapist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could never. I'm judging you. No, I'm joking, I'm not.
Camilla?
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, we listen and we don't judge. However, this isn't even... That's a precursor to the story.
Oh.
I've dumped my therapist, send her this text, because Mike, you don't call your therapist. I don't know. I sent her a text. Maybe that's a bit shit of me, but whatever.
Yeah, that's really shitty to break up with your therapist on text. It actually is.
That's a real friend to just tell you your shit.
Yeah.
That's a really shit thing to do. Anyway, whatever. Right, I just text Philippa and I said, I'm really, really sorry, Philippa. But I just feel as though... What?
It's not working. It's me, not you.
Yeah.
Cliche. Email me the rest of those cliches. Fuck, my nipples are inverted. It's so cliche.
Oh God, I just said like that. So I sent her a text and I thought, oh God, I feel really bad because that's gonna ruin her day. Like that's a
so
day ruiner.
egotistical of you. I love that.
But it is a day ruiner.
Me splitting up with Philippa is going to ruin her day. She was probably dancing for joy, love.
She's sick of my
you
shit.
Egotistical bitch.
She couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Naturally, it ruined her day.
Well, anyway, I said to her, and I put the phone. I thought, oh God, it's gonna be a rough one for her. She'll miss me. She will. I make her laugh. Anyway, she texts me back.
Thank God.
And this is good riddance. Yeah, finally. No, she said, "Hi, Katie. Been a pleasure to work with you over the last 2 years and get to know you, and you've come so far and blah, 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 and all this nice message." And then the second paragraph was, "I've actually just had life-saving surgery. She nearly died 2 days before."
Oh my God.
And I thought, oh my God, she's nearly died. She's in a hospital. She's nearly died. And then I've dumped her the day after she nearly died.
You bitch.
I know.
I'm
And
saying
when
what everyone's
the
thinking.
text, when you read the text and you're like, oh, I thought it was bad enough me dumping her, but then to say, oh, well, I actually nearly died yesterday.
Oh,
I just thought,
God.
oh, that's
fuck.
horrendous.
You did
I really was
fuck, an audible.
Fuck. So I sent her obviously another message being like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Glad to see you've texted me back and you're still alive and kicking,
Yeah.
I
think I'd feel the urge to book in for a pity session. I'd be like,
no, I'm not going to do that.
No, good.
Spit people, please.
Yeah,
you wouldn't do that.
I don't think I would.
Maybe it was Tony because let's be honest, you're in love with him.
I am.
but I don't. I'm not in love with Philippa.
That's going to be the headline of this podcast episode. I love my therapist.
And I love my therapist. Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say. I'm in love with my therapist. Yeah. I dumped my therapist. Yeah. Anyway, we've not even got onto the body of the text.
But that's actually a good segue because you dumped your therapist.
Yeah.
I'm in love with my therapist. No, I'm not. But what I thought would be a good segue is the fact that we wanted to discuss something that maybe doesn't get as much airtime as the counterpart of it, which is friendship breakups. Now, this is actually something that has started to be spoken about a little bit more because I know that Perry Edwards from Little Mix went on Fern Cotton's podcast to discuss her friendship breakup with Jessie Nelson.
Yeah, and Jade went on the Louis Theroux podcast literally last week.
No way, I need to listen to that. So I love that.
Well.
We're kind of releasing the stigma around the fact that you can break up with friends and it's fine. You progress and you grow and we've all been through friendship breakups. And I actually think that, you and I have been through a fair few.
Yeah.
And they're not a bad thing. Like we were saying, I think not that long ago, that it's not a flex to be friends with the people that you have been friends with your entire life, from nursery and school. That is lovely if that applies to you and you've got those friends and that nice
But it's not the only measure of friendship success.
It's
and I think that people do that.
It's we've been friends for this long. And it's
you have no friends from your childhood or from school. I'm like, no.
And they're like, oh, that's a red flag. It's I don't
really.
think it is a red flag. I think it's lovely if you've got that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, I think it's testament to the fact that you evolve and you no longer have those things in common that you used to have. And it's fine. And it's just how you communicate them and how you move past them.
Yeah.
And that, there's just not really a rule book for friendship breakups.
No.
Whereas breakups, there's literature on it, there's podcasts on it. So we want to just be part of the movement talking around them because, they make you feel shit. They do make you feel shit.
But they're for the best.
Yeah.
And I think with romantic, the difference between going through a romantic breakup and a friendship breakup is that there is a rule book for romance. Ever since you are a small child, you are exposed to, in fairy tales and things like that, the obstacles that come up with romantic relationships and sometimes them ending and getting back together. And then you've got like the typical rom-com era and like even music, like all pop songs are about breakups and you get given such a guide subliminally on how to navigate those things. Whereas with friendship, there's literally nothing. Like when I went through my friendship breakup, I felt so... Well, even in the run up to it, I felt like I was doing something wrong. Like I wasn't allowed, or it was very, nobody did that. I didn't know anybody who had ever done what I had did in that situation, what I had done in that situation. And I felt really alone. Like I was just winging it. I thought I was doing the right thing at the time and the best way to navigate it. But, you know, I didn't know what I was doing, basically, is what I'm saying. And I think that it's important to talk about it as people who have both gone through it, because some of our listeners may be thinking it's on the horizon, or they're going through it, or they've gone through it in the past and not known it, you know, healed from it or anything like that.
And we're also at a pivotal point in the year. Like we're not that long into 2025. And I think it's important to have people around you that you feel align with you, and that, you know, and this is something that's quite an unpopular maybe. I've not like said it to many people, but I genuinely do think to an extent like friendships shouldn't always be unconditional. Like I always say this, don't I?
About this,
and it's something that, you know, everyone's like, oh, I love you unconditionally. And it's a bit more difficult with family members, because that kind of is a little bit more unconditional. But with friendships, I do think that it should be conditional. It should be based on, you know, I'll do this for you and you can do something else. It doesn't need to be that exact thing, but you know that it goes both ways.
It's a two-way street.
And you're both like getting something out of each other, because why else would you choose to be friends? Like that's the beauty of friendship. Your family, you can't choose, but your friends, you can choose who you spend your time with. And that is such a amazingly powerful thing. And I think that, you know, you don't have to be stuck with people that maybe, it's all about how you leave people's company. Like, do you leave and you feel drained, or do you feel invigorated? And I think that's really important. And it might be that someone that was in your life and played a big part in 2024 just might not have a space in 2025, and that's fine. I think it's the normalization. It's the normalization of outgrowing things. And I think obviously the basis of our podcast is that we want to self-develop, and I think the people that you hang around with make a huge difference. What do we say? You know, if you hang around with 5 smokers, you'll become the sick. If you hang around with 5 negative people, you will become negative. And so you've got to choose wisely. And I think being very, very particular about the people that you hang around with sometimes does then initiate a friendship breakup, because it's time to say goodbye. We're on different paths. We want different things. We're not aligned. We've outgrown each other. You're, you know, whatever it is, it should be okay for yourself to move away from that environment. And I think we both experienced that. And for example, without being too emotionally slutty and getting into the specifics, but there was something that I was speaking to Tony recently, my therapist, about, and I like to check in with him and see what he thinks in a scenario. So like a friendship breakup, like not that long ago, but it kind of, you know, there's when you come to the actual breaking up part, because people, it's fine to talk about friendship breakups, but actually then getting into like how you initiate them, how you solidify them, how you move on from them. So if you feel like you are not able to say and communicate your truth with a friend, like, and that if you were to say your truth, that it's not going to be received very well, then that's obviously a very big indicator that you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
So like, does it need like a big phone call? Does it need a long text message? Like, not always.
No, I think it can fizzle. I think a lot of them can fizzle.
Yeah, and that's fine. Fizzling is actually something that is quite, and it's not disrespectful, because it's not like you're just ghosting them. It just like naturally don't
in a
make
kind
an effort.
way. I think depending on the level of the friendship, it depends. If you have it's like a sisterhood, like deep, runs deep, years and years, it's different. If it's a friend you've had for a year or whatever, and you just feel that pull coming up different ways, I think. And I also think as well, it's on them too. If you pull back and they also pull back, then that's a big indicator that, okay, we're both thinking the same thing, and that's healthy and fine and normal. And okay.
And, you know, if you're going through a friendship breakup who maybe hasn't like done the work on themselves, or like it's basically you versus them, like their argument against yours, as opposed to like you and the person versus the problem, which is always what I try and like do in relationships. So why would I do anything different with friendships?
Yeah.
Like, if you can't get to that like common goal, because sometimes you don't want the friendship to break up, but you can't go on a common ground, like neither of you is like seeing the other one's point of view. And this was something that Tony said, because I was like debating whether to like go into something and like say my truth in like a long paragraph and all of that. And then I actually just like thought to myself, you know, is it more important to be right, or is it more important to be at peace? And sometimes like you don't have to have the last word in a friendship breakup, and that's quite a nice like way to be. And just like, you know, you don't want to. This was the thing that Tony wrote down on his notepad. I actually said, I don't know where I've got it from, but it was don't argue with fools, because from a distance you can't tell who's who.
Yeah. So
which
true.
I really like. And I'm not saying anyone's a fool, but it's like,
no, I know what you mean.
Like,
yeah, no, it's true, because you're like shouting at a brick wall. And also at the end of the day, even whether you perceive yourself to be right, they may not perceive you to be right. You're always going to be the villain in someone's story, because everyone's perception of reality is different based on their own experience, past experiences, belief systems. Like it's all relative to the person. So if you can put your head on the pillow at night and say to yourself, I tried my best, I did my best, and that's all that I can do with the tools and I had at the time, then, you know, then that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that I can, you know, put my head on the pillow and say that I have done everything that I have done in the past, like with a clean heart and clean intentions. And that's the thing. And that's the most important thing, because that's like authenticity.
Yeah.
But I think moving past, so like how you move past the friendship breakup, because with a breakup with a, you know, a couple, you would unfollow, you would, you know, block, delete, move on. Great book. But in this case, like you kind of don't do that, do you? You just kind of randomly watch each other's lives unfold. But I definitely recommend like a mute.
Yeah, mute, unfollow. It's not personal.
It's not
personal. It's just like
peace.
It's peace.
And I do think people think though in this society that an unfollow is personal. 100%.
Well, I don't know. Maybe my perception's different of that, but it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe it isn't for certain people, but.
And also, actually, friendship breakups, you might be, you know, breaking up for now because it's not your time.
It might
and then
come
the
back
other
later.
person or you or myself, like I'm only like trying to be self-aware with me, but I don't know. I can't disregard someone else's truth if they feel it.
Exactly, yeah.
So it might just be that for now the friendship's parked up, and then it naturally, when the timing is right, you'll come back into each other's lives because, you know, there's a common ground again. It's nice thought.
It is a nice thought. And I think, as we always say, like people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean to say that if somebody's been in your life for a season, they're not coming back for season 2. They might.
I love that.
Who knows? They might make a sequel, a comeback. You just don't know. But I think
a comeback.
As long as they're coming back to meet you where you're at and you're not regressing. Because I think sometimes, a lot of the time, and I know my personal experience, like friendship breakups have happened because you feel like you're just in a different spot to that person. And if you've grown that way and they've grown the other way, if you can meet again at another point, that's amazing. But you've got to have grown together separately, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I do feel like that happens a lot in romantic relationships too. It's a very similar blueprint probably, but I just don't think it's talked about as much.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it all depends on effort and like you know how you communicate as well is super important. Like I always ask people, you know, like what's your love language, and it's the same with friendships. Like my friend Lauren, we had a bit of a, and she won't mind me saying this because it's actually helped our relationship so much. And we basically had a discussion as to what our love languages were, because hers was quality time and mine's words of affirmation. And she wasn't giving me any words of affirmation. I was literally like Kris Jenner all the time, like, yes, queen. Like, and then, but I would just like FaceTime her as like a form of, you know,
And she wasn't feeling like her needs were being met.
Connected. And I was like, well, that's fine. We've done a FaceTime. You know, I'm giving you my time. So we actually had that communication, which was so important because eventually, if that had compounded, it could have ended up in a friendship breakup. Yeah. So, you know, not always. If you're feeling like someone's, you know, not giving you what you need in a friendship, tell them.
Check in.
You can't be mad for not getting what you want if you've not asked. And that's what I absolutely love. So communication in romantic relationships is important, but also in friendships.
Definitely. I feel like we're good at that as well.
Very good.
Well done us.
Well done us.
Well done us. Very good.
Have we had like a bit of a... I don't think we've had...
No, what I mean is we're good at the knowing what the love languages are. And we're good at that, at knowing what
the other person
the needs are. Yeah. Which is obviously so important.
Yeah.
And the effort. Like what we were just saying then about it being a two-way street. I do believe as well that friendship is conditional, because as soon as you stop meeting my needs and vice versa, it starts to feel one-sided. Then you get resentful. And then that's when the real poison for the person feeling the resentment holds on to. And that can be really, and then it all just blows up probably out of proportion for what it actually needed to be.
If you are going through a friendship breakup at the moment, just a little reminder, we hope this conversation's helped with that, and a reminder that you are going to be fine.